Hi again, Lisa Soland here, Senior Editor of Climbing Angel Publishing. And I have the pleasure of interviewing my longtime friend and fellow writer who has written alongside of me for years. She is one of my favorite authors. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be sharing her talent with you. Her children's book, which is her first, it's her authorial debut, Ella's Trip of a Lifetime. Melanie, tell me you've got other work that's being published. People are going to read this and want to read more from you. So what else is going on with your writing?
I do. This has launched an interest in me to pursue it and to work this craft of writing, which I find very difficult but very exciting. I have another children's book that is about a young girl with autism and
Wonderful.
her support dog,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it is told from the perspective of the dog. The dog tells the story, and it's really funny and sweet and difficult to write because, I mean, on the one hand, you can say anything. A dog, you can make a dog say anything. On the other hand, as we were talking about before, that truth and that uh, I wanted the dog to ask questions sometimes or question things in the world that um, that people maybe in their advanced knowledge or what they feel like is it their advanced knowledge of a particular subject, and to have an innocent being ask a question and have it listened to differently. So it sounds crazy, but through the dog, the dog can ask questions that maybe people can't ask, or can question things that are going on, or can explain things that are going on. And I love this story idea, and I love the characters, and so I can't wait for that one. That one is gonna.
And we don't want to give away too much about
No,
it, but
no,
it is a wonderful, insightful look at autism. And they say that autism's on the rise, and that it certainly is a good opportunity when that book gets released. It'll be a good opportunity for people to be able to understand what that person inside of that is actually experiencing. And we need to know that. I think it helps us to love one another a little better.
right. Exactly, which is the point, which is the point of it all, just to be like, there are experiences that we don't understand and we can't. And it's not that we're not willing to listen. We are willing to listen, but sometimes we listen differently when the information is given to us from a different source. And that
Yeah.
can be sometimes our greatest inspirations come from a child that just says something and you go, well, shoot, that makes perfect sense to me now. It's,
Exactly.
yeah, so
Taking us back to Ella's Trip of a Lifetime, your new children's book that's available as of March 15th, which is just in what, 3 days.
yes.
Um, she is actually the narrator, Ella herself. And I really love that about this book. She tells the experience of what it's like to be an adventurous girl who's
Mhm,
got squirrels in her brain and who loves colors and loves to draw. And she's kind of a free spirit,
mhm.
goes on a vacation with her mom and dad and her younger brother who tests her patience. And then while swimming in the pool, she nearly drowns and gets to go visit heaven really quickly.
Yes.
And it's quite the book. I just can't talk enough about it. I really enjoyed the process of refining it as the editor, and I thank you for entrusting us with it.
Well, thank you. It's a very delicate subject, and so that's a feeling is mutual. Um, I completely trusted that the spirit of the book and through Sylvia's illustrations and my words that we would come to be able to tell this story in a beautifully simple, wonderful, funny, crazy, silly, inspiring, wonderful, way, as a, as a screwball kid can, be. She's so funny. She's funny, and she knows she's funny. That's it. It's not like a surprise. She's very self-aware.
But this
And
is your mode of operandi, if I may say so. I have known Melanie Eubank for a very long time. I just am so grateful for the experience. I don't know what my life would have been very different had I not met you, Melanie. You are just an awesome person. And the fact that you can capture your unique, oddball sense of humor, it's not really oddball.
yeah, it is.
But the fact that you capture that and even emphasize it, it gets even better on the page than it is in real life. That's the sign of a writer, really, who's actually more interesting on the paper. Not that, I mean, you're very interesting, but the fact that you can not only capture it, but you can make it emphasized is beyond me. So it's awesome. And I wondered, I always think about the writers out there. I mean, think about, like, I've been writing now. I wrote my first play in December of 91. So this December, I will have been a professional writer now for 30 years. But when I think back to those early days, Melanie, when I didn't really understand what really is a gift from God, I think. And then you do with it, what you will as he continues to bless, your life. That's been my experience anyway. But I was very insecure. If you could speak to yourself as a young person, what advice could you give to writers, not necessarily young in age, but writers that where their doubt is actually stopping them from moving forward? What could you say to them to kind of help them get free of that?
I would just say to you just have to write, because for me it was inescapable. It caught up to me in my life. I tried to avoid it, and I tried to escape it, and I tried to hide under other things, and it just, um when I'm writing, as painful as that can be sometimes, and as difficult and frustrating as that can be sometimes, that is where I am most comfortable in myself. That's where I know that's who I am. That's who I am. This is who I am, with all of the foibles and the flaws and the crazy and the 14 spiral notebooks with different, all green, because I love green, um, but with different ideas in them. And this one is for this and this. And in my squirrel brain, I know which one is which just by looking at it, and jotting down notes, and thinking, gosh, is this any way to live? And is that, how else would I live? How else would I live? This is what helps me to breathe. And you will find, when you are living your authentic self, you will find your village. Your village will come to you. They're all there waiting for you to do what you're supposed to do. And when you're doing it, they turn around and they go, oh, hey, um, you're not alone. The days of writing alone, smoking an unfiltered cigarette and drinking scotch, which really sounds very romantic, but isn't, yes, but really makes you kind of sick. And that tortured artist, it doesn't have to be that way. There are writing groups. There are writing groups for hobbyists. There are writing groups for professionals. There are writing groups for professionals who are just starting out. There are writing groups for professionals who are so sick and tired of writing, and they just want to go to dental hygiene school and be done with it. And there's a support group for you out there like that.
And there isn't a group, they can start one.
Yes, absolutely. And start one. And, through workshops, take workshops, search for workshops. There will be good ones, there will be not so good ones, but you will learn something every time. And every time you will either learn how to um, entrust your work with other people, or you will learn how to improve your craft, or you will learn how to use Instagram to help you find other writers, or you will learn something. You will meet someone who will partner up with you somehow and help you get to the next level or section or square on the Monopoly board. But
Mhm.
it's do it. Don't It's easy to make excuses, and let me tell you, I gotta write a book about the excuses. I've already got that book, so don't bother writing it. Because I hate doing dishes, but sometimes the dishes are really like, do I leave those dishes sitting there, or do I sit my butt in the chair and write? And just know that it's like learning. Um, my sister's a teacher, and she's a math teacher. I love her so much because oh, I know, but she loves it like I love writing.
Cool.
She wants people to understand it, and she wants people to know that they are good at math. They've just needed it to be explained in a way that their brain understands. My sister's very much about people who are differently thinking and learn differently. And so she's saying, when people are like so frustrated, and she's like, that's when you're about to have a breakthrough. When your brain is so tired and it doesn't want to take on any more fractions, and it almost hurts. She's like, you're having a breakthrough. That's your brain is learning, and it's hard to learn, and your brain is exhausted, but you just have to push through that and know that that is not a sign that you're not good or not this or not that. That's a sign that is what physically happens to our brains when it's trying to learn. Same thing with writing. Sometimes when you are the most resistant to writing is when you need to sit down and let something come out of you, because it's trying to, and that's why it hurts. And just whether you're a keyboardist, that sits down and tippy types. I'm personally, I do sort of a combination, but my best writing is by hand with a notepad,
Yeah.
because there is something about it coming from your brain out your arm and expressing through the pen or pencil, and the physical resistance of the pencil sounds very crazy, but there is something about that works. It also sometimes allows you to slow down and finish the thought. Whereas when I'm typing, I can type real fast. And when I'm typing, it's just like, "La, la, la," so it
Yeah.
sometimes just to help that. But I don't care how you do it, but do it. I don't care if you dictate it into your phone, do it. Just do it. And you will find the people. There's a million ways with the internet now. There's a million ways to connect with people all over the world who share your experience. And when you're talking about not writing something because pish posh, who could possibly, well, you're not, we're not the only people that experience these things. And it doesn't have to be something as dramatic as a near drowning and near death experience. Sometimes people just need to know it's okay that they, you know,
Yeah.
didn't get, what chosen for the talent show in the third grade, and that affected them. That is something that helps. Yes.
Joni Caldwell's book, I Like to Be Quiet, about a little girl in a family whose brothers and all of the people in her family are a little louder than her. And
Yes.
it's just, children that read this discover that it's okay to be quiet. You don't
Right.
have to be making noise all the time.
You don't have to be like all your other family members, and you aren't. You're an individual. You're a unique little creature.
If we
And
were all the same, that would be so boring.
can you imagine? No, I can't.
Viva la
So
différence.
write your truth, because that's it. And you don't have to publish your truth, but write your truth, because your truth, I believe my truth was standing in the way of other things that I needed to write. My truth had to come out first. That's not always the way. Some people need to write around their truth and do other things. Then their truth can come out once they have the strength to. And I'm not saying you need to publish your truth, but you always have to write from a place of truth,
Mhm.
because children are not the only people who can, smell condescension. And so, I mean, writing, that is the whole point, is to expose your heart and bring people on a journey, and at the end of it, They are not the same for it, and neither are you. And it doesn't have to be giant dramatic things. It's just a beautiful thing. So my advice to writers is just to write. You have to write. You have to write.
Well said. Well said. A good reminder for all of us. Thank you so much. Could you hold Ella's Trip of a Lifetime up one more time for us to see?
It's so beautiful. There she is.
Wonderful, by Melanie Eubank.
Yes.
Her authorial debut, and Climbing Angel Publishing has a whole string of really wonderful children's books, God's Hands and Feet, and Carly Sommier, Wheels Off. Make sure to find us on the internet. You can do a search for Climbing Angel Publishing. And Melanie, where can you be reached directly if they want a signed copy of your, you have it in hardcover and softcover, your book, Ella's Trip of a Lifetime?
They can find me on Facebook at Melanie Eubank, EW, like boy, ANK, or my website, Melanie Eubank, MELANIEEWBANK.com. And there is a contact that says writer at melanieeubank.com. You click that, send me a message, and you know, you can find me on Instagram at Eubank Melanie. I mean, I'm sort of everywhere, promoting my audiobooks and my and my children's book. So easy to do. And I have Venmo, and or you can mail me a check. We can talk. Let's talk.
And she will mail you directly as autographed copy. You can order them for your children in your life if you don't have any of your own. Oh, my dog is calling me. You can order them and have them sent from Melanie directly to the person. So don't hesitate. Support a writer. If you've got some extra funds, support a writer and send a wonderful inspirational book to those loved ones in your life. Thank you so much. Make sure to like us and subscribe to this channel. And we do cover topics on authors and the challenges that they have with their writing. So if you are a writer, or if you just need some major encouragement, you can subscribe and you will get it regularly from this channel. So thanks, Melanie. Oh gosh, I have a frog in my throat.
Write a book about it, Lisa.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.